Hi and welcome to WoW Flash. This is where I'm going to talk about all the Warcraft news that's come up in the past 7 days that's interesting to my channel. Apologies if you can hear any background noise. I've had to have the window wide open, another one as well, to try and get some drafting here. It's absolutely sweltering. And I know there are people, and I've probably said this last summer when we had our few days of summer, from Australia and other scorched places of the world. But we can't deal with it in Britain. We don't know what's going on. You know, students have been... I had some students in one class folding pieces of paper to make fans out of. I had another class where all the students every few minutes moaning about the heat. We don't get it. Like there's... You know, back in pagan days, there were countries around the world, especially during winter, that would make sacrifices because they were afraid the sun wouldn't come back. We're afraid when the sun does come back. We don't know what's going on. It's confusing. We look at this thing, we go, oh my God, the sky's on fire. Is the apocalypse here? So apologies for this. God, too hot. So what's been going on in the last week? Well, first thing, I'm just going to put my streaming schedule there, the definite one. I'm going to talk a little bit more on that at the end of the video. Warriors, there's been a lot of hoo-ha this week with Warriors because Draft of Souls is being nerfed. But what a lot of people seem to pick up, or fail to pick up on, I should say, is the fact that Warriors are being buffed. And the Draft of Souls was not going to be that great in Nightholder, sorry, Tomb of Sargeras anyway. So it was like, Warriors are basically getting buffed. And yet all the Warriors were complaining because all they read was the Draft of Souls getting nerfed. There's been legendary ring news. I mean, we were talking about this last week, the new legendary ring for each class that gives you a talent based on your spec. And I was, you know, thinking about, oh, is this going to be a normal legendary? Can we wear this in addition to other legendaries? Seems not. It is now available to get from the vendor in the PTR, and it just behaves like a normal legendary. It's just going to be, you know, you can choose it along with another one as normal. So that means for a number of classes it's going to be hugely disappointing. Still not quite sure how we get it though. I'm still going to sort of say maybe we don't get it as a random drop like everything else, but maybe we do. Who knows? I don't know. Another bit of news. It has completely kicked off between certainly a player and the CMs. I might have to do a whole video on this. I talked during WOD about sometimes, you know, the behaviour of CMs. This is not an attack on a CM, by the way. I'm going to digest this first. Basically, someone has posted the usual thing somewhere that, oh, there's no content in Legion. And a community manager has basically gone, yeah, I've looked at your character. You don't seem to have actually completed any content, so you can't really say there's no content. Been a bit snarky about it. Now, I would actually support them in that, to a point. But the player has then posted on another forum about Blizzard and professionalism. And they don't, you know, they might have a valid point in some ways as well, to basically say, you're not actually behaving like professional PR people here. And certainly I level that criticism myself at them during WOD, less so in Legion, but that's, I think, because they get attacked less in Legion. And the community manager has basically defended themselves pretty well, I'll give them that, saying, you know, if you're going to say there's no content in Legion, I'm just going to call you out as a flat liar. If you're going to say there's no content for me in Legion, or I'm not happy with the content, then that's a different thing. But to say there's no content in Legion is a flat-out lie, which is true. I'll put the link to the forum post in the description below, along with another link I'll talk about in a minute. So you can see that for yourself if you want to respond on that. But I think I'll probably do a video vlog on that this weekend, because it's a tasty subject, isn't it? I'm also delighted to say, after several years of Blizzard apparently defending gnomes, although you sort of knew that they, you know, weren't exactly pro-gnome, because as we've noted out, they've never appeared in any like expansion cinematic as such. We now have had them in a cutscene, which was disappointing, and even then you can sort of see why you wouldn't put them in there. But every time you say anything like that, the Gnome Mafia come out. But I'm glad to say the anti-gnome propaganda might be working a little bit. I was delighted to see a tweet from, someone from Blizzard, Muffinous, who was asked the question. I'm going to put a link to the Twitter in below as well. I've retweeted it on my own Twitter account. who was asked the question, why are there 2 statues of Varian in Stormwind, but there's none of any, major lore characters like Vol'jin and so on in Orgrimmar? To which the reply came, possibly that Horde aren't really into statues, plus they've got better use for rocks, such as throwing them at gnomes. Finally getting anti-gnome sentiment from Blizzard itself, and I applaud that. Go and retweet and like it. No doubt the Gnome Mafia is going to come out in force on the comments here now. The other thing is, just last thing, tomorrow there's going to be another one of those micro holidays. It's a Zangarmarsh related one. So, I mean, all I remember of the Sporogar from Zangarmarsh is they're the most pathetic NPCs that have ever ushered forward from anything that Blizzard have created. But if you want to support them for whatever reason, you like mushrooms. Actually, I like eating mushrooms. Then go to Zangarmarsh tomorrow, May the 27th. And there's an event there. Maybe I'll pop along, who knows. The other thing as well, just following on from a couple of weeks ago, when I did like a top 10 of spoof WoW videos from early days, early years, like vanilla TBC time. And, I mean, that got me to thinking, we don't really see that sort of stuff anymore. I know some people do spoof WoW videos every now and then. But I don't consume that content as much as I used to back in those days, because there doesn't seem to be much of it about, and what there is, a lot of it is not that good. And then someone linked, and it hasn't just come up this week actually, but someone linked in our guild Discord a parody song, Holding Out for a Healer, and it's really good. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description below as well, and if you're into sort of spoof, especially music videos, World of Warcraft related, have a look at that. Really good job done of that one as well. And last thing is my streaming schedule. I said I'd sort of mention a little bit about it. So first of all, obviously I'm going to be doing the Tuesday talk again on Tuesday. That's going to start at 7 PM UK time as normal. So I've started, certainly the last couple of weeks, putting the full videos topped and tailed onto YouTube, so you can sort of see they last a bit over 2 hours. So if you can't get there right at that time, then I'm still going to be on a couple of hours later, although it'll be winding down then. There's also going to be a stream tomorrow on Saturday, the 27th of May in the afternoon, 3 PM UK time, just like last week. Like last week, it is going to be playing another game. Again, I fancy doing Elder Scrolls Online again. It's one of those things where I'm going to be using that slot, I think, to play other games. It's not deliberately random games each time, but not playing like World of Warcraft. But I'm still there to chat. If you want to chat about World of Warcraft, that's fine. That's absolutely fine as well. I may also stream on Wednesday evening our raid, but that is only, I'm going to try out an audio mixer to see if I can filter out the sound from like our Discord for the streaming purposes. I'm going to try out a program. If it works, then I will do that. So I'm not going to say anything definitive about that yet, but I may well stream during the raid on Wednesday, which would be 7 PM UK time for the next 4 hours after that. So there we are. That's the news and the news with my streaming. If you've got any comments, throw them down below as usual. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.